Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chicken Police. We're gonna interrogate Dr. Quetzal.
Dr. Quetzal's a real
Quetzal,
mystery.
sorry.
But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Alright, and I'll admit, I have the thingy here, so I know what to ask.
Okay.
So when did Albert become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
It's not too long in
Oh.
the grand
Describe
scheme of
that
things.
day, more specifically.
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe
Wait a
the
minute.
first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them.
So they came here
Hobart
after.
Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
Wait, what?
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
Fair enough, I suppose.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
That's not very welcoming, but
Didn't you
okay.
think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Okay, special treatment.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In
I
the
see.
case of Albert, we put that aside.
So
Interesting.
you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
I gotta admit, out of all places to hide, you know, few people are gonna check an insane asylum. Because why the fuck would you stay there? Okay.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
Nerd.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes.
What?
He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer,
That
too.
painting is probably his.
Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he
I
have to be
wonder.
locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Alright.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Now that is
Wessler's
interesting.
not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Let's see. Why did Albert leave the institution the first time?
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about
Oh,
2
yesterday.
years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
But you did.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him.
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Aha!
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly. So
Son
you
of a
already
bitch.
knew about that.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
It's a good painting, too. Damn it.
So wait,
Let's see.
did Albert fall in love with Natasha?
Maybe. Maybe that's why he killed him. Let's see. Next one is...
Yeah, and Ibn just murdered him because of that.
Did
Maybe
Albert
because
tell
Natasha
you
liked
how he
Albert
felt
more.
about painting? Wait, let me make sure. So let's see, when and why did Albert leave? No. Did Albert tell you how he felt about painting? Well, this is the painting. Let's see. Okay, work on painting. Yeah, this one.
Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting?
From the first moment, he loved it. He was fascinated by it. But who could blame him? A little diversity, fresh air, a beautiful lady, and of course, on top of all that, he could finally do what he loved.
Which is why
best.
Natasha... Oh!
Which could be a surprisingly effective
Albert.
therapy.
It could have been.
Albert was the
Unfortunately,
one
these
with the notes,
excursions have
writing
greatly
whore everywhere.
intensified his seizures. They have become more frequent and extreme.
I think you're right, Im. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the dogs.
So
that's
Albert
fine.
left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself. And on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was
Oh, dear.
unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting
Yeah,
caused
he
it?
fell in love with
Not
Natasha.
the painting,
Didn't like the fact that
Mr.
Natasha was with
Featherland.
Ibn.
But its subject.
Exactly.
Yep.
He was obsessed. Right until that fateful day when he returned to us.
This is starting to
for
sound
the
more and more
last
like it.
time.
What exactly happened that
And exactly
day,
why
Doctor?
Ibn would want to keep it
It
secret.
wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now.
Oh!
So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly. And he was blinded in one eye. Or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
So you're saying
Wow.
Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Did he do it to himself,
Yes.
or did Ibn do it to him?
And
though?
they didn't give any
I mean, no, it'd be nice
explanation
to take things
as
into
to
his own
what had
hands.
happened.
But they have also
simply told
just
me
said
it
that
was
he was doing
some
self-harm.
kind of accident.
Maybe he tried to do some
And
Van
attacking
Gogh
others.
shit.
Wessel is cold and professional, but he's also
I don't know,
very
it's like,
confused.
oh, I love you, here, take my
Maybe
eye,
it's
because
cruel,
I can only
but I
see
must
you,
exploit
or
his
some shit like that.
vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
Okay.
Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland. But even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off. And his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
Just imagining it,
But
I
there's no
hate it
doubt
so
it
much.
wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
It makes it all the
I
worse that we have to
totally
imagine
agree.
it. Because seeing it is one thing. We're just like, oh yeah, that's pretty nasty. But imagining it,
Concentrate, Doctor.
Always
What
worse.
do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
But why
I
would he
doubt
do
that.
that?
Maybe Albert saw something
Oh!
he could accidentally revealed.
Ibn can't
Who?
tell on
The
him if
four
his tongue is
walls,
cut
a couple
out.
of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
It might
That is
still be
true.
the
It's that
case.
simple, Doctor.
Albert could have
But
taken
thank
over
you for your honest
and
opinion.
had Ibn
You're
fucked up and
welcome,
cut out his tongue
Detective.
so he couldn't tell anybody.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
But maybe that wasn't enough.
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell.
I don't know. It's
A
just
more safe one.
it's a coin
there's
flip.
still
at this
a
point.
gap
during the
here.
visit.
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother.
Sat and
who
watched.
was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something.
Aha!
Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken too.
I knew
so
it.
he couldn't
I think I'm right, Im.
Do you
I
think
think
Hobart
it's-
could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor.
I think
You've
we're
been
right,
great
Im.
help.
I think
Well, I'm
Albert
glad
and
I could
Ibn
be of
swapped.
help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
You okay, Jaxie?
Hey.
Okay. Well,
Meow, 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 meow,
we got a lot of clues now.
meow, 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 meow.
Albert Wessler disappeared. If that even is, I think that was Ibn. He broke all his fingers, cut out his tongue, made sure he couldn't tell anybody what was really going on. Ibn most likely killed his own brother, Albert Wessler, made Zip dispose of the body. I think Albert
That does
took
seem
over.
plausible.
Jax, stop whining, baby. You're fine.
Okay, we don't have like all the notes here. We have most of them,
Families
but there's
govern
still
the
a
mental
gap.
health facility. Quite a heritage, cold reserved, and yeah,
And then
getting
Albert.
there. I think you're right though. He developed an obsession with Natasha. and realized only Ibn could have her, so he decided he would become Ibn. That's my guess, at
It
least.
probably did do, like, just write whore all over the place.
Yeah, he probably wrote it, and then Ibn was like, cut this shit out right now, and then they had their scuffle, and... Yeah. Alright, I think we have our business.
Yeah.
Please, I'm at your service.
Thank you, miss.
Nothing new.
It doesn't...
Nothing new. I would assume that this was painted by him, too.
This picture.
Well, it must have been made by one of the patients, so it's understandable.
It's Albert's.
It's the handiwork of our director.
Oh.
He's not only a scientist, but he's a great painter, too.
I see.
Well, it's lovely to have a hobby, right?
That's right, Marty.
That's right, let's get the fuck out of here. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Yeah,
I can't.
let's leave.
I can't leave. It will not let me.
So let's go talk to him again.
Cool.
That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us,
It was different.
horribly mutilated, he was different.
Yep.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked out and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different
You're right.
person.
It was Ibn.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler lived in exceptional circumstances.
It's gonna be a really fucking nice
Thanks to
room,
the
isn't it?
Wessler name,
Probably.
I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Yeah, who's gonna bother? Ibn? Albert? They're fucking dead.
Well, that's,
Oh!
surprising.
Oh.
Never seen a cell like this before, that's
Okay,
for
then.
sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly that, yeah. Let's take a good look around.
I bet you were gonna
I'm
find
sure
a
we'll
painting
find some
here.
answers here. I can almost smell them.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and great expectations.
The fuck
What
does that
the
mean?
Dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
What does that
This
mean?
place is
Great
bad for you,
expectations?
pal, but if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, boss bird.
You just come in and he's like on all fours sniffing the floor.
Oh, there's the painting. Okay.
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
Fuck
You
no.
mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
Eh.
As always.
Writing desk.
Albert's letter.
Oh.
Identical
Photo of the
twins.
Westlers.
And looking at it,
Yep.
they may have easily loved the same woman.
Ibn
man.
is
Yep, there's
Albert.
Natasha in the center.
Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Marty,
Marty.
shut up.
Marty.
Ones, Marty, please. Stitch up your beak, okay?
Marty,
Just
dude.
use your imagination, old
Marty!
bird.
Oh, God.
Scribbles,
Lord.
newspaper articles, study papers, poems. Perfect chaos.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Yeah, but there's still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Just making sure.
Look at that. A letter.
Ah, well, we'll have to check out what the letter says in the next time.
Wow.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.
Adios.